In the heart of Tonda, Manila, where narrow alleys twist like wounded veins and life is measured in scraps, 14-year-old Miguel Santos stands under a flickering streetlight that barely keeps the darkness away. The night is humid, heavy with smoke from nearby food stalls, and the distant rumble of jeepneys blends with children's laughter fading into tired silence. Miguel holds a cheap, nearly broken Bluetooth speaker in his hand. It crackles every time he presses play, but tonight he doesn't care. Tonight is important. Tonight he wants to feel that spark again, the spark that tells him he is more than the world he was born into. His mother sits a few steps away beside a stack of dented bottles she cleaned to sell in the morning. Her face is worn, her hands rough, but her eyes soften whenever she looks at him. She wipes sweat from her forehead using the corner of her old shirt. There's a sadness there, a quiet fear that life will never change, but also a hope she refuses to let go of. The same hope that pushes Miguel forward. He clears his throat and whispers to himself, "Someday, they will hear me." The words come out shaky, but they fill the air like a promise. He presses the button, and a faint instrumental of Hotel California begins to play through the damaged speaker. Miguel closes his eyes. The moment he sings the first note, something in the alley shifts. His voice is raw, fragile, unpolished, yet full of truth. Each sound carries the weight of every morning he woke up hungry, every night he fell asleep listening to his mother cry quietly, every dream he kept locked inside because it felt too big for someone like him. Neighbors walking past slow down one by one. A man carrying a sack over his shoulder pauses, adjusting his grip so he can listen better. Two little kids stop chasing each other and stare, wide-eyed. Even the usual chorus of barking dogs and vendors' shouts fades into the background, as if the whole street is holding its breath. Miguel doesn't see them. He is somewhere else, somewhere better. His voice trembles on the high notes, but he keeps going, pouring his entire world into the song. This alley is his stage, the cracked pavement his audience, and the broken speaker his orchestra. His mother watches with tears gathering in her eyes. She whispers in Tagalog, voice trembling, "Anak, you were born for something bigger." The truth of her words burns in his chest. When Miguel finishes the last line, silence falls over the street, not an empty silence, but one filled with awe. A silence that feels like the beginning of something. A silence that tells Miguel he might actually have a chance to escape the life he never chose. And in that dim alley of Tonda, a dream quietly opens its eyes. Miguel steps onto the massive stage of Ireland's Got Talent like a boy walking into another universe. The stadium lights blaze down on him, brighter than anything he has ever seen in Tonda. For a moment he is blinded, not just by the lights, but by the overwhelming realization of where he is, halfway across the world from the alleys where he used to sing barefoot. His hands tremble so hard that the microphone feels as if it might slip right out of his grip. He forces himself to breathe, but the air feels thick, heavy, different. The audience murmurs softly, curious about the small boy with worn-out shoes, a shirt that's too big for his thin frame, and eyes that look both terrified and determined. One of the judges, a woman with kind eyes, leans forward as if trying to understand him better. "Where are you from, sweetheart?" she asks gently. Miguel swallows. His voice is soft but steady. "I'm from Tonda, in the Philippines. I came here to change my mother's life." The audience falls completely silent, the kind of silence that swallows everything around it. The male judge glances at his fellow judges, eyebrows raised in surprise. Something in Miguel's tone, something honest, something painfully real, grabs their attention before he even sings a single note. The soft music track starts to play. Miguel can feel his heartbeat pounding louder than the speakers. He closes his eyes, just like he did under the streetlight back home. He imagines his mother's tired smile, her hands covered in dust, her voice reminding him to sing with heart. He inhales deeply. When he releases the first note, it's fragile, almost breaking. The judge is tense, as if ready to comfort him. But the next line comes stronger, richer, filled with a rawness that no training can teach. His voice isn't smooth or polished, it's imperfect, but real. It trembles with hardship, rises with passion, echoes with the weight of a life spent fighting for even the smallest hope. The audience begins to lean forward, realizing something extraordinary is unfolding. Judge A brings his hand to his mouth, disbelief spreading across his face. Judge B's eyes fill instantly, tears shimmering under the stage lights. Miguel doesn't see any of it. He is lost in the music, pouring out every memory, every night of hunger, every moment of fear, every dream he carried quietly so the world wouldn't laugh at him. As he reaches the first high note, the crowd gasps. It's not just strong, it's soul-shaking. It sounds like a boy tearing open his heart so the world can finally see what he has hidden inside. Judge B's tears fall freely now. Judge A whispers, "Oh my God," as if the words are pulled from him without permission. The music swells, and Miguel rises with it, voice cracking in a way that adds even more truth. He sings not to impress, but to survive, to tell the world who he is and why he's here. When he hits the final long note, the entire hall vibrates with energy. And in that moment, before the applause, before the screams, before the judges react, there is one breath of absolute stillness. The kind of stillness that only comes when someone has just sung their entire soul. The final note hangs in the air like a fragile thread of gold, trembling before it dissolves into silence. For a full heartbeat, the entire arena of Ireland's Got Talent forgets how to breathe. Miguel stands frozen at the center of the stage, small and shaking, chest rising and falling as if he has just run a marathon. The lights pour down on him, turning the falling dust into tiny stars. His eyes widen as he slowly realizes what he has done. He has given everything. Every hope. Every fear. Every dream. All of it is now in the open. Then the silence breaks. A single shout erupts from the back row. Another follows. Then the entire hall explodes into applause so loud it rattles the walls. People rise to their feet in waves, clapping, screaming, crying. Some hold their hands to their chests, others wipe tears from their cheeks. It is not just appreciation, it is shock, awe, and something deeper. Something sacred. Miguel lowers the microphone, but his fingers won't stop trembling. He doesn't know what to do, smile, cry, bow. He only knows the sound of thousands of strangers chanting his name. Tonda boy. Tonda boy. But the judges, they are frozen. Judge B covers her mouth with both hands, tears spilling uncontrollably. She tries to speak but her voice cracks. She presses her palm to her heart, shaking her head in disbelief. Judge A sits completely still at first, eyes glossy, jaw locked as if trying to hold his emotions together. But when Miguel lifts his eyes to meet theirs, tired, hopeful, scared, Judge A finally breaks. His tears fall openly. The judges stand, walking toward the front of the panel without even discussing it. Their steps echo softly, drowning beneath the roaring crowd. Miguel's breath catches when he sees them approaching the golden buzzer. Judge A clears his throat, but his voice trembles. Miguel, you didn't just sing a song. You told your entire life story. You gave us your pain, your hope, your soul. Judge B wipes her tears and whispers, and we felt every heartbeat of it. They look at each other for a long, wordless moment, an understanding passing between them. Then they reach forward at the same time, placing their hands on the golden buzzer together. A soft click. A second of silence. Then, boom! Golden confetti blasts from the ceiling, swirling around Miguel like a miracle falling from the sky. Sparkling flakes land in his hair, on his shoulders, in his shaking hands. The lights shift into gold, washing him in warmth he has never felt before. Miguel drops to his knees, overwhelmed. His vision blurs as tears finally burst free from his eyes. He covers his face with both hands, sobbing, not from sadness, but from a joy too big for his body to hold. Through his tears he whispers, barely audible. "Mama, this is for you." The judges rush onto the stage, kneeling beside him, pulling him into a tight embrace as the audience roars louder than ever. Cameras flash, capturing a moment that will be replayed for years. And in that golden storm, under the blinding lights of a foreign country, a poor boy from Tonda becomes something more. A symbol of hope, courage, and the kind of magic only truth can create.